Swan Lake is a story about opposites. Odette, Odile, complete opposites, soft, harsh. Natural world of the lake versus the human world of royal obligation. Night versus day, good versus evil, freedom versus imprisonment, and love versus betrayal. I don't know why it's so famous, but everyone knows Swan Lake. I feel like even if you don't know anything about ballet, the first ballet that would pop up in your head would be like Swan Lake or the Nutcracker. Everyone has had some sort of tragedy in their life, something that they've had no control over. Coming to the ballet and you're just sitting there and you're in the story, you're not listening to words, or you're just hearing the music and watching the emotions. So it really takes you that much more in depth with the story. Well, she is someone very high up who grew up in the court, and she loves Siegfried, and they're really young when we get introduced to them. It actually reminds me a lot of Game of Thrones. And Rothbart is he's plotting years ahead. Okay, I need to get that family out of the picture. So he turns her into a swan.
Siegfried is a very charismatic and happy prince at the beginning of the ballet because he's so in love with this woman, and from a young age he knows that he wants to marry her. And then out of the sudden she disappears. Literally the love he had for her is what made the person he was, and he became this sad prince that, yeah, he has everything, he gets gifts, but he doesn't have what he really loves. And the worst thing about it, he doesn't have an explanation of what happened. Somehow he gets attracted by this creature that he sees on the lake. I feel like he can feel the connection. I feel like he feels something that it was there back when she was with him. That's why he's so attracted. The whole ballet, I love this ballet. It's one of my dream roles since I was a kid. But I feel when the first part, the white part, the first white part of the day, I feel like it's the best one because he's already realizing who she is. Throughout that ballet, I feel like it's when he started to realize who she is. You're trying to get to her, but you don't want to do any damage, and you see the way she's reacting, so it's like you have to be gentle, but your emotions want to take over because you really love her and you're realizing that who she is.
In this production, we have Odette and Odile performed by different ballerinas, and it's because of the way we tell the story. Odile is actually like Rothbart's sort of sidekick.
It's nice to be the evil from the beginning to the end, and then portraying sometimes being good. That's really nice, because then you get some moments when you feel like you're acting being good, but then you come back to what you are, an evil swan. So I really love this production. I think it's from now, in a way. It's from this century. Normally you feel like you're a swan. For some reason, in this performance, I don't feel 100% like I am a swan. I feel like a woman trying to become a swan to be liked by a prince. This is what I feel. Not totally swan. I feel like I'm acting, doing my porte-bras as a swan, pretending to be a white swan. And then he will be caught by the love of what he likes to see. So he likes to hunt, he likes to go and see swans, so that's what I do what he likes for him to choose me.
When you're dancing with Odile, you're super happy. You're like, that's her, I'm gonna marry her. Even though there's some parts where you're doubting yourself because you see the way she's acting, it doesn't feel genuine, but because you're cursed and you're really believing that she is, and maybe you also want to believe that she is the one because you've been missing her for so long that this option appears and it's like, okay, this is it.
Now at the first, she portrayed to be a good person, and then all of a sudden, when they got engaged, she's like, okay, I lied to you, and this is the real me. But now you got engaged to me, so there is nothing you can do. So you have to move on with me, with the evil. The hardest part is the challenging, technically. The easiest one is look like evil for me. That's the easiest part. The challenging of technically demanding and then being during the entire time on stage, in and out, and then having to dance your hardest part at the end of the night. So that waiting, like you could warm and all of that, but then you get tired because you have to wait all the way until the end to just do the most exhausting parte, longest parte in classical ballet. So the challenging of technical demand is the hardest thing in the ballet for Black Swan for me.
I mean, we all grew up seeing the Swan Lake, even the cartoons, and I feel like it's very easy to portray a prince role. I think it's easier to make up a story in your mind. I feel like as long as you make up a story in your mind and you believe it, it's easier to act that way. In this version, everything makes sense. So there's very little moments that you feel like you're in blank. It doesn't happen in this version. Like you can always find a justification for what you're doing.
I mean, there's something so romantic, unfortunately, about this love story that's doomed, just like Romeo and Juliet or Giselle, that I think is just so beautiful about in the ballet and how it's told through dance, and there's something so serene about ballet, of course.
Each individual dancer has their own background and their own story, and I think that's what's very unique about each of us.
One thing Michael said that I really liked was that we're all Odettes. Like, we could all be in her position. So I think that's a contrast between other Swan Lakes I've done, where it's clearly Odette is the lead principal role.
And we're just
we're her
extension of her. Yeah.
And this is more, I feel like it gives us more of a personal story where we can relate to that.
For sure. There's a lot of times, or a couple times, that we as a group reach to her, and I love that, and we have the connection with her.
Even just her fourth act paw, where we're all in the corner. I don't know, there's just something so powerful about being still, and that always, I get emotional every time. So
Sometimes less is more. It's very impactful. For me, I remember last time we did Swan Lake, it was at the very end where we're all kind of facing away from the audience, and we're all just doing our swan arms, and we're looking up into the horizon into Odette and Prince Siegfried, and it's love trumps hate, and that was just really powerful, and the music's so beautiful. I always got chills, and then the fog comes in, and it's so dramatic, and I don't know, that was my favorite part. I would always get chills.
This music is just a dream. This is really amazing. No matter what you do, no matter if you listen to the music, you will be transported, always, for sure.
I like thinking that we can take an audience on a journey and take them away from their lives for a night.
Swan Lake has everything that classical ballet can give. You have the technical, you have the storytelling, you have the emotions, and you have the production part of it. The lake scene is beautiful, the castle is beautiful with all the beautiful costumes and the different dances, and also it has a lot of character dancing in it, which is gives more texture to the ballet. It's not just classical ballet. Swan Lake has it all.